Today I show you how to make this amazing raisin loaf using a Panasonic bread maker, menu number 3. I have all the ingredients and I'll tell you all about them now. So what do we need? We've got a recipe book as well from the manufacturer. So we'll start with, we're going to make the extra large loaf. Again, I want to make it as big as possible to see how it comes out. So I am using organic strong white bread flour. This one is M&S. So always try to buy the best ingredients possible, wherever possible organic, to try and reduce the amount of pesticides and chemicals in my food. So this is just a plain white flour from M&S. But make sure you buy strong white flour, because otherwise your breads will not work. Okay, so we need, for this recipe, we need 600 grams of the flour. I need to put my scale on. So this pan comes with a bread maker. There is a paddle inside, like so. So just put that back in. Make sure, there you go. So that's what it's going to mix it all up. I'll put it back on the scale. It says 0. Let's do it. So 600 grams. $600 grams. Oops. Okay, it's a little bit too much, but that's fine. It's just over. So 600 grams of strong bread flour, white bread flour. Butter, 40 grams of butter. I've already measured this one out, so that's 40 grams. In this case, I didn't have any other butter, so I'm just using Ocado unsalted butter. I didn't have organic butter this time, so fortunately that'll have to do. Sugar, 2 tablespoons. So the bread maker comes with this sort of measuring spoon with, this is a tablespoon, a big one, and a small one is a teaspoon. So sugar, I am just using plain golden granulated sugar. Okay, but you can use really any sugar, to be honest. I've tried with various ones. Coconut sugar works as well. Okay, so that's 1, 2 tablespoons of sugar. And by the way, I try to keep all my ingredients in glass containers to try and reduce the amount of plastic or nanoplastics that go into my food. Because if you store something in plastic containers or in plastic bags, you know, like over time you get that smell of staleness. That's just the plastic going off. So glass jars, these are just jars that I use from this one, I think was sauerkraut in this one, and I think this one's probably sauerkraut as well. So they are absolutely fine, perfect. So that's my raisins in this container as well. So anyway, so sugar is done. Salt, 2 teaspoons of salt. I am using, in this case, just a plain table salt from Saxa. I haven't got any other salt at the moment, so that one will have to do. Okay, so that's 1. It's not pouring very well. That's 2. Okay, 2 teaspoons of salt. So that's the salt, that's the sugar, and salt water, 400 milliliters. I've already measured it out. This is just tap water, not cold, not hot, just sort of a room temperature water. So that goes in. Okay. And the last 2 ingredients, which is the raisins and yeast, go into the bread maker at the top of the bread maker. So I measured out, this is 120 grams of raisins for a basic loaf, okay? And also I have easy bake Allicin yeast. I do keep my yeast in the fridge because one day I started to make my breads and they didn't work. They were not raising, they were coming out like flat as pancakes. And for a long time I couldn't work out what the problem was. So I've tried different flours, different sort of measurements, you know, like different weights of everything, and I couldn't work out what the problem was. And actually the problem was my yeast had gone off. It was a very old yeast and I kept it in a cupboard. And the yeast, over time, especially if the temperatures are really warm in the summer, the yeast will go off. It will just stop working. So I now keep my yeast in the fridge. So this is just a sort of a dry yeast, so it's not the fresh yeast. Anyway, so we've got that. Put those things away. So the last two things we need to do is I need to put my bread pan in here. So that's in there, okay. And now I need to do my yeast. So yeast, it says 1¼ teaspoon of dry yeast, okay. Dry yeast, there's a little compartment at the top of the bread maker. Not sure if you can see that. I'll try and tilt it over a little bit. Can you see that? There's a compartment for the yeast, round compartment there, and this is where the raisins are going to go. So if I put the raisins in here, okay. Wow, they barely fit. Okay. That's 120 grams. It's quite a lot actually. So they go here. And now I put my yeast in here as well. So that's one. Did I drop a raisin in? I dropped the raisin into the compartment as well. There you go. So I think that's it. So that's 1¼ It's less than a quarter. Anyway. Okay. So now that's it. So raisins and my yeast goes in here. And now we're going to switch it on and wait how long this is supposed to take. It should take, on menu number 3, the basic raisin loaf should take 4 hours to make. So in 4 hours time we'll take it out and we'll try it and see if it worked. So this is where the pan is with all the ingredients, and then the lid, you lift it over here. Here are my raisins and here is the yeast. So now let's switch it on. So menu number 3 we need, because that says there, see, basic raisin, okay. So we're going to change that to 1, 2, 3, 4 hours. This was extra large loaf. It says it's extra large already. If not, you press that button there. We want an extra thick, extra dark crust. So there's only 2 settings, a lighter and a darker if I press that button. So go for the darkest. Okay, I don't want to delay this. So this is the delay button function. So I'm just going to switch it on, pressing that button there. And then 4 hours later, it says 4 hours there, the basic raisin loaf should be ready. Okay, it's ready to take the bread out. Okay, let's take a look. Ooh. Oh, it smells really good. You can smell the raisins. I think the bread was so tall. Can you see that flap was open? It actually indented the bread down there. Oh, that's a bit of a negative. That should just close itself after it's dropped the seeds, or what's this? Let me just take. Take it out. Okay, that's extra large loaf. It's huge. It actually came out of the pan, so it's looking really good. The top is nice and golden. It's not burnt, but look, there's the indent from the tray that was open. That's a bit disappointing that the tray does not close itself. The bread is looking really good. Oh, it's nice. Look at that. Can you see that? It's very high. So that's extra large loaf. And now let's... Hunter, come back. There's a big cat outside. Come back, Hunter. Hunter, come back. Come back here. He's not a very friendly cat. Hunter, come here. Come here, darling. Right, here we go. That's the bread. It's looking really good. Okay, so the raisins are not burnt, which is really good. Now let's leave it to cool down a little bit, and then we can slice it and try it. I'll let you know what it tastes like. So this is basic raisin loaf using menu number 3 on my Panasonic bread maker. So now it's time to do the review. What do I think of the bread and what does it taste like? So I made extra large loaf, and it is extra large. It's huge. It actually came out of the pan, just above the pan this high. So that was pretty good. The other thing I would say is that the flour and all the ingredients are nicely mixed up, so there's no extra flour or around the edges or anything like that. So it's actually mixed perfectly well. The raisins, I would say again, they're not burnt. Sometimes when you get these loaves, you know, you can find like burned bits, but it's actually none of these raisins that you can see are actually burnt. So I think that's pretty good. I think it has a good spring. It's actually quite nice and springy. The only thing I'd say is that as a negative, based on just looking at it, it has a little cap. So it's kind of split here. So it's not like obviously those breads that you just make by hand. They look beautifully done with like perfect crosses and perfect sort of shapes on top. So, but as a... Oh, and the other thing is that when it came out of the bread maker, you can see a little dent in here. That's where the cap or the sort of flap opening that had the raisins in it it doesn't close by itself. And because this is an extra large loaf, it actually cooked with it in like this. So actually, I'd say that's the flap should drop the raisins and then it should close itself so that it does not impact the actual shape of the loaf. So that's the two negatives. But apart from that, I don't really have much more to say about what it looks like. So, oh, and the other thing is the top is not burnt as well either. So quite all right for now. So now let's try it. So let's just cut it into it and see what it looks like. First of all, is it a nice even spread of raisins across the bread? Okay, that's not too bad. Look at that. The raisins are not just at the bottom. They're actually dotted around the bread itself. Hello, buddy. I'll feed you in a minute. I'll just let my cat in. Just give me a second. My cat decided to turn up at the most appropriate moment. So, I think this is a success. I think the bread is, again, nice and springy. There's good spring to it. The raisins are sort of embedded in the bread, not just at the bottom. So, yeah. Now, let's just try it. So, I think this is not going to be very sweet bread, I don't think. But we'll see. So let's just... because there was only 2 tablespoons of sugar. Yes, baby. What? Let's just cut into a fresh slice. Okay. So you can see the next slice as well. So this is, wow, okay, it's perfect. Look at that. I think the raisins are nicely embedded throughout the bread. I'm quite surprised about that. That's a good result. So we're gonna try the crust. So that's a crusty piece. I have some butter, and then we're going to try this piece as well. It's really nice and soft. It looks gorgeous. So let's cut it this way. I have to pay tax to my husband as well. Okay, a little bit of butter. Now, taste test is the most important one, right? So, I think so far so good. I think this bread looks really good. But now let's just see. I reckon, you know, if you could make maybe add a little bit more sugar, I don't know whether that would work, to make like a sort of a sweeter loaf. But we can try that another time. So do subscribe to my channel because I've decided to try every menu on this bread maker. There's 32 menus. I've done 3 so far. This is number 3. This is a basic raisin loaf menu. Now, taste test. This is really good. Okay. This is really nice. The raisins are coming through nicely. I can taste them definitely. It's not too sweet. Comparing to the amount of effort this took to make, I think this is a fantastic result. It doesn't quite taste like a tea cake. Sorry, I need to finish this. This is so nice. It goes really well with slightly salted butter. I think this will be really nice the following day, toasted with some butter. I have never made this before. So for first attempt to make raisin loaf, I think this is fantastic. Very Moorish. I could eat a lot of this. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't done it yet, so that you don't miss on the future videos on the remaining functions of this bread maker. Basic raisin loaf, menu number 3 with Panasonic bread maker done.